Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the daily forecast for the 6th of June 2017. Now, before I start the reading, I just want to say massive apologies that I didn't get to do the daily readings Friday and Thursday, I think it was. And I haven't managed to get this. I think there's 4 of the weeklies that I haven't had a chance to do yet. Basically, I just haven't had the time. You know, it's not like I've been sitting skiving. It's not like I've been taking time to myself, which I do desperately need to do. But, you know, it's literally time is so precious at the moment. I don't know if people realize how long it takes these videos to do, how long it takes to do these, you know. I mean, the weeklies, it is a full day. So basically before my week even starts, I'm doing like 17 hours, which is a part-time job. And that's just to get the videos on top. And certain things happen, you know, within the world and within personal life and things like that. And, you know, I'm doing what I can. So please just bear with me with that, you know, and I will keep checking in, and I will keep, you know, being here and doing, trying to get all of the dailies done as well. Okay, so right, today's reading is quite a strange one, I feel, as well. It's like, I want to go with the message. Okay, I feel it's more of a universal message. That's what it seems to be coming up with. But I do feel that there's a personal thing in this as well. I'm using the Apocalypsis Tarot, the Tarot Apocalypsis. Now, any of you that have been watching these videos for a while know that when I use this deck, it usually goes deep. Okay, this deck actually blows my mind. You know, the messages that come out with it. So what this is the Lovers. Okay, and it's a beautiful card. The imagery on these are absolutely brilliant. And what it says within the book about this card is, in the beginning we were one. We were unified in everything. The stars were our bodies and our souls, and our love was boundless. Okay, so this is what it's talking about. It's talking about love on a greater level. Now, this could mean, you know, within your relationship, within your love life, that this is about your love life. Okay, either somebody coming in, you know, somebody coming back as well, because this is often linked with a reunion. But with the Lovers card in traditional tarot, it talks about the love being there, this connection and everything like that. But it also talks that there's a bit of a sacrifice with this, okay? And the message that wants to come through with this, like I say, it's quite deep. And what it's saying here, this card, the first thing that came through to me is love brings about unity. It's not about separation. You know, when you are coming from a place of love, you are with people, you know, you are not separate. It's fear and hate that actually separate us. Now, last night I attended a political rally in my hometown, and I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime. It was like being at a festival. The vibe, the love that was there. There was, you know, so many young people that were there. You know, it was absolutely fantastic. And the unity that was felt was unbelievable. And this is because everybody was coming from a love base. Everybody was actually there for the same cause. You know, everybody was there because they cared. And, you know, that feeling was amazing. You know, there was tears. It was pouring down with rain. I was absolutely soaked through, but I love the rain anyway. But there was tears of just overwhelming at the amount of people who felt the same, the togetherness. That's what it was. And this is what this card is talking about. And it's saying what happened within this. We were all one. We were all love. Then what happened is we sort of thought we know better. And this is when we became like one and not one, you know, and this is when we had like the light and dark. This is when duality sort of came in. And what has happened since then is we are still all seekers, and we are still on a journey seeking for this wholeness again, you know. So this is it. But a lot of times now, because we have experienced fear, or because we have experienced things going what we class as wrong. Now, nothing ever goes wrong, you know. It's sort of like it's something leading you to something else. But because we've experienced this and because it hurts, what we do is we close ourselves off to love. Okay, we become cold, we become hardened. and that doesn't serve us at all. This is the type of being that we are. We are there to share with others, not just a romantic partner. We are there to share it with others. So this card is saying today, it's open yourself up to love. Okay. It's this is what we need to do. There is so much hate in the world at the moment. Okay, people will have seen what happened in London at the weekend, and that was the reason I didn't get the weeklies finished. There was a friend of mine went missing in London on Saturday. Gladly I heard from them on Sunday. They just hadn't been able to find anywhere to charge their phone, but that was it. It was, my thoughts were elsewhere. I couldn't actually read. So like I say, there is so much hate in the world, and, destruction is sort of, it happens on a daily basis. But what this card is saying is when something like that happens, look at the love and kindness that follows. Look at the help. Look for the helpers. There are always people helping. So no matter how much, people try and destroy us or sort of, break our groove or make us scared or make us, where we don't want to be there because we're living in fear. No matter how much that is trying to happen, love will always conquer it because love is always there, and love comes out in force when hate is there in force as well, So at the moment, there is a big thing within the world. This isn't just in my country. This is worldwide, where people are trying to divide us. People are trying to separate us. They're trying, when they do that, then we are easier controlled because we live in fear. When we live in love, we have nothing to fear. And this is what it's saying. This isn't just about relationships. We need to love the world. We need to give that love out to the world. We need to love ourselves. We need to love the relationship that we have with others. We need to love ourselves. If we have a look at this, how many times do we say hateful things to ourselves? We need to then say loving things to ourselves, and what we need to do here, and this is what this card is talking about, is we need to merge our human side, which is we're all living on this human earth, but we need to merge it with our spiritual. When we allow this spiritual transformation, when we allow spirit in, when we find our spiritual side, when we find our faith, this is when we feel this wholeness that we felt in the very beginning, and that will allow us to carry on from that same place. It will encourage us, Like I say, last night, standing around with all these people, the hope and the encouragement just blew me away. Absolutely blew me away, and this is what we all need, So this is talking about a union. Now, this could be you and somebody else, I don't like to get into twin flames, soulmates, stuff like that, Maybe one day I will do a video on them, but I don't like to get too much into that because people have the wrong idea of that, And it's like I say, it's a very complex thing. Everybody we meet is sort of a soulmate in some way because we were meant to meet them. But when we're talking about this on a relationship level, it goes a lot deeper. And like I say, it's not for me to go into at this moment. So this is saying that when we connect with spirit, when we actually allow this in, when we allow spirituality in, and I don't believe in God or anything, so it's whatever your God is, it's just the faith, knowing that there is some higher power there, and that is actually a reunion. That is why it feels so good. That is why it feels so familiar as well. It's like, well, I already knew that. That's happened so much on my journey, I would learn something and then think, but I feel like I'm just remembering that. Like I knew it, but I'd just forgot to remember, and this is what this card is saying, so like I say, it is talking about a reunion of some sort. And it's talking about this wholeness that we feel. Now, the reason we are constantly searching for that is because we've already felt it. Okay. Now, I mean, how many of you are sitting watching this now and there's that one that got away, isn't there? That one where you're thinking, all right, okay, what would have happened if circumstance had been different or something like that? This card is saying, you know, maybe it's time to venture it, you know. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, they've just said to me there. Because this is talking about positivity within all aspects of relationships, okay? So, like I say, this is the light in the dark. And with relationships, there will be good and there will be bad. You know, nothing is all rosy. You know, it's never like that. People expect it to be like that. And what happens is when we first meet somebody, and when people call it the honeymoon period, our body, when we first fall in love, our body produces a hormone. And this is like the feel-good factor, and we like that. As we then get into sort of, you know, comfortableness, we stop producing that as much. And this is why people think, oh, right, okay, that's it, it's rubbish, it's you know, like that. And then they constantly, they want that fix again. So that is when, you know, they'll go off, or, you know, they'll stop blaming their partner for you're not doing this. And it's a natural thing, you know, nothing ever stays the same. And when we have the highs, we have the lows as well. But this is about bringing the balance in and actually having the appreciation and understanding that you need to form a healthy relationship, because so many people don't do that. I deal with relationships on a daily basis within my work. You know, within my life, I've actually studied a lot of relationships as well. And I see, you know, straight away what people are doing. And it's like, wow, no wonder. You know, they tell me and they go, oh, and do you know what they're doing? And blah, blah, blah. And they're actually doing it as if the other person is doing something wrong. And then you just like, show them a mirror back and say, look, you know, are you actually showing up for this? Are you putting the work in that is needed as well? You know, because this is it. Relationships are a two-way street. And the second, you know, the second that goes out of balance, that is where the problems lie, you know. So this is what this card is saying. Love is all around you. You know, it's there. It's whether you want to take it. It's whether you have the right idea of love, you know. So today, maybe even look at, what is your idea of love? What does love mean to you? Because a lot of times love is what we have learned, you know, and that is not love, you know. I mean, if you know, we learn a lot of love from our parents as well, you know, and if that hasn't been healthy, or they have had strange ideas about love, then we believe that is the same, you know, and it's not. So it's about us breaking the cycle. It's about us understanding. It's about us actually recognizing what real love is when it doesn't come with conditions. It's not going and buying flowers and buying a Hallmark card. That isn't love if you're then the next day, do you know what I mean, saying that person, well, I bought you flowers, you know, you should be doing this. That is not love, you know. If you're doing something for somebody to get something in return, that is not love. You know, unconditional love is about actually sharing yourself with that person and accepting that person exactly how they are and honoring that person, you know, and encouraging that person and supporting that person, you know. This is it. You know, this is it. If we're in this together, we've got to be together, you know. If you're not, then it's time to part. And this is it. So many people cling on to this idea, I'm in love, where, you know, they're not, you know, they're not at all. And I always say that we rise in love, we don't fall in love. You know, when we fall in love, we are actually stumbling, you know, that is good. You think, does anybody enjoy falling? You know, this is about rising, and this is what we should do. And a relationship should lift you higher and give you sort of encouragement and drive to be the best person that you can be. You know, love does not keep you small. True love does not keep you small. True love wants you to rise. Okay, so this is what this card is saying. So then we go to the Osho card, and like I say, the Osho card always, it just goes straight in, and it's straight for the jugular there. That's one of my old my old silly jokes when I'm drunk. It's, how do you kill a circus? And it's go straight for the jugular. Sorry, that's ridiculous. So anyway, this, like I say, this is cutting to the core here, okay? So this is fighting. So this is where I feel, sort of consciously or subconsciously, you know, we are at the moment, and this is what needs to be addressed, because there is a frustration coming through with this card. If we see it, if we look at him, I mean, his knuckles are white there because they're clenched that tightly, you know. His eyes, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the redness, like the rage in his eyes, you know? And he's got himself, what he thinks is protected by this like spiky armor. But what I'm seeing within this is this armor is rusty. So this is saying this isn't something new that you're fighting against. You know, this is something that has been going on for quite some while. And this is saying, you know, if we have a look, he's fighting, he's frustrated, he's got all of this tension. And in his mind there, you know, there's a couple fighting, and this is over, it's you can see it's like a castle. This is over a home. I don't want to get too much into the political stuff, but that's coming through there, but I'm going to push that out of the way. So this is saying there is a battle here. You know, you may be involved in a battle, and I do feel that this is around relationships where you are battling for control. You know, you are wanting to dominate a situation, or somebody is wanting to dominate you or control you. You know, when we feel threatened, when we are coming from a place of fear, our first sort of reaction is to fight or to attack. You know, we want to own as well. A lot of things within relationships, people want to own you. You know, that's it. When you are in a relationship, you need to allow that other person to be free, you know. Because this is saying, you know, this card is about winning. It's about not wanting to give in, you know. And what is happening is you are actually hurting yourself by being sort of wrapped up in all of this anger and frustration and torment. And this person who you're fighting with is probably feeling the same as well. So neither of you are happy. And all this is doing is just building and building more resentment and more hurt, you know. When we cover ourselves in protection like this, like he has got his armor on, when we put these barriers up, especially around people that we're meant to be open with, you know, we say that we're doing this as a form of protection, but what we're actually doing is cutting ourselves off, you know, and we're keeping ourselves closed in. And then we expect the other person to be open and honest with us. And it's like, you know, how can we do that? You know, we've got to take responsibility for the part that we're playing in things as well. And we think that this armor, or, you know, by cutting off to love, this doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. It can be you deciding, right, okay, I don't want love in my life because it hurts too much, you know. So you're thinking that this armor is actually preventing, you know, preventing you from getting hurt. What it's doing is it's preventing your wounds from healing. You know, if we have a cut or anything and you keep it covered, what happens is it starts to fester, you know, and it actually starts to go deeper because the air's not getting to it, so it's not getting cleared. And this is what happens when we put armor on and protect ourselves, you know. We think it's protecting ourselves, but what it's doing is it's causing the hurt to go more internal, and it's causing us to feel our wounds on a deeper level. Once we take that armor off, once we are sort of free ourselves, once we allow ourselves the basis to heal, you know, this is when we can get better, you know. When we have armor on like this, all we are doing is getting bitter. You know, we're getting bitter, not better, you know, and you can see that in there. So what this is saying is, when you have armor on like this as well, especially this guy in this picture, is that is preventing him from moving freely. I mean, if any of you ever walked around in a suit of armor, you know, it's like, it's not fun, you know. You haven't got the freedom, you haven't got the flexibility that you would normally have, and you are very restricted, you know. And what it does, it's pretty damn cold as well, so it makes you feel cold and it makes you feel alone. And that is what happens when you are cutting yourself off, you know, from love or from anything, really, you know. And this is saying that life is too short to hold on to anger, you know, to be like this, you know, or to spend your time fighting, you know, whether you're fighting to possess something, you know, whether you're fighting to be yourself, whether you're fighting just for the sake of it, because that's how things are now. It's grown into a habit. You know, you've grown used to it. You know, some people fight every single day. That is ridiculous. You know, it was one of my exes. We were together 5 years and we had like 2 fights in 5 years, 2 arguments, you know, and he would just say to me, Tanya, you're being a bit of a dick. Will you please stop it? And I was like, all right, okay, sorry. You know, and that was it. There was an appreciation there. There was an understanding, you know. Nothing was said personally. He didn't take it as a personal attack. So it wasn't like, right, I've got to attack back, you know. Because this is it. We will all experience pain at some point in our lives. Every single one of us. None of us is immune to it. You know. So pain is a given, but it is also very necessary, because unless we unless we feel pain, we would never grow, or we would never learn what not to do, you know. If a fire didn't burn you, you would put your hand in it, you know. So the reason it burns you is to stop you from doing that. So like I say, pain is a necessity, really, but suffering is optional. So if you want to live your life like this, you know, then keep your armor on, keep yourself closed back, and keep yourself fighting. If you want to live your life in bliss and freedom, you know, and peace, that is when you stop fighting. You know, everything that's going on in the world at the moment, you know, it's like you don't fight for peace, you peace for peace, you know. How can you kill somebody for killing somebody else? You know, it's like killing somebody, you know, to tell them that killing somebody is wrong does not work. It just it twists my brains, you know, really, really twists my brains. And what this card is saying as well is, if you are having, within a relationship, if you are having to fight for somebody, okay, so if you feel you're having to fight to keep them there, to fight for their affections, you know, if you feel you're having to do that, then that's not yours anyway, you know. If you feel you need to defend yourself and defend the person that you are, you know, against somebody, you have to keep standing up for yourself, you know, because they're constantly putting you down, then that person is not worthy of your time, you know. So what you need to do here, instead of holding on to any anger, because anger is only hurting yourself, you know, that's it. Anger is only hurting you. You know, if you clutch a hot stone with the intent on throwing it on somebody, it is you that is getting burned, you know. So what this is saying is, forgive yourself for it, you know, forgive yourself. Go back to this place of love that we're talking about. Forgive the person with whom you are fighting, but walk away. Take that out, you know. Take that thorn out. It's like, you know, the thorn in the lion's paw. Take it out, and then the pain will be able to stop. Okay, the pain will start to cease. If you are staying like this all of the time, the pain will be continuous. Okay, so this is it. When we are forgiving people as well, you know, when we practice forgiveness, what we're doing is we're taking the gun down from our own head. You know, this is it. We're holding a gun to our head on a daily basis, but we're not condoning the actions of somebody. When sorry, somebody's just came in with a huge bunch of flowers there. So thank you. 2 seconds. When we practice forgiveness, we're not condoning the actions of someone who has hurt us. We are just freeing ourselves from any further pain, you know, and we're releasing ourselves from this cage that we put around us, and we're freeing ourselves to live a life without drama, without blame, without resentment, because all they do is come back to us. So this card is saying, be a lover, not a fighter, you know. Look at areas in your life where you feel you need to fight, you know, and question why. You know, is it worth it? You know, what good is it serving you? And, you know, there may be areas where you need to let go. And this is this sacrifice that this card is talking about. You know, to get to this place of oneness, to get to this place where you can feel love, you may have to actually let something go so that you can move freely, you know. So the Colette Baron Reid card is to be fair. And this, again, is the balance. This is what needs to be brought in, you know. So this is saying, you know, there will be periods in your life, which I've mentioned, where you will go from, you know, feeling bad, but then feeling good again. And this is it, you know. We will, at times we will do things, at times we won't, you know. It's like, you know, this is how life is. But everything, when it is in balance and when it is in moderation, you know, this is when we sort of, we can recognize what's going on. We see both sides of it, and we are in the middle. We're neutral, okay? And we are not affected. You know, when something goes really, really good, it's like, great, that's fantastic. When something goes bad, it's like, right, okay, there's an experience in this. There is something that I need to learn within this, you know? And that's it. You stay balanced within it all, you know? So this is saying you will only, you know, stay open, okay? Weigh up the pros and cons. Always remember that the other person is you. That is one of the sutras for the Aquarian age. I was talking about this last night with the Yogi Bhajan. And, you know, it's always remember that other person is you. So think, how are you treating that person? You know, are they treating you in this way because of how you're It's treating them, you know, like I say, this is about taking responsibility and looking at the part you are playing in your problems as well, you know, because this is saying, you know, your heart wants to connect to others. This is what we are. As I've said, love is where we come from and love is where we will go back to. You know, it is the universal force that cannot be destroyed. You know, it can't. As much as people would like to destroy it, you know, they can't. So this is saying, you know, this is about fairness. You know, it's not about me. You know, it's not about all about the other person. It's about striking the balance between the two, you know. And if you use love as your driving force rather than fear, then, you know, you will get through this game called life so much easier. Okay, so I hope that made sense to you. I'm just going to quickly pull a spirit card and then I'm going to go and look at my flowers. Right, 2 seconds to see what this one says. If anybody would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my Facebook or via my website. I do now have a booking system on my website, which is fabulous. It's going to save me so much time. So if you go onto my website, click what reading you want, it will take you to a schedule. So you actually pick what time you want the reading for. It will then take you to payment and it's all done without loads of back and forwards emails. So yeah, that was what I've been working on this weekend as well. So that's why the videos went out. So right, okay, to end on this and see what we've got. Right, we have Moon Goddess here. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful card that. And this is saying, a time of necessary upheaval is really a blessing in disguise. As the dust settles, the gift will reveal itself. And this is it. If you are going through pain at the moment, there is a reason for that. And what you need to do is ask yourself, what gift is in this for me? Because there will be a gift. You will be getting something from it. Maybe you might not find out straight away, but you will eventually find out. So take it as an experience. Whatever you're going through at the moment, you are needing to actually experience this in order to move forward. And remember to come from a place of love at all times, and that will keep you balanced and grounded. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back tomorrow with the card of today. Okay, Satnam.